5G, and what is the difference between our 4G and 5G? What is the improvement areas we have been seeing in 5G? Okay, coming to first, whenever we compare our 4G and 5G network, what we go through is speed. Okay, internet speed. In 4G, we have around 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps, but in 5G, it is increased from 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps theoretically, but practically it will be around 7. It can be up to 7.5 gigahertz Gbps, and the improvements is around 10x faster than our 4G. And coming to latency is the delay between each mission or from our mission to internet. You can think that. And in 4G, it is around 30 to 50 milliseconds, but in 5G, drastically decreased to 1 millisecond, which is ultra low delay in respect to time. And the device capacities in around 1 lakh devices can be connected in 4G per kilometer square. But in 5G, the range has been increased to 1 million devices and 10x more connected devices. This is majorly because of the massive MIMO, which will be using in your 5G. And even 4G advanced stages, we have been including this massive MIMO in, but in 5G, it has been adapted quickly from the starting stages of 5G. Coming to bandwidth, in 4G it is a limited bandwidth, but in 5G it is a much broader. It is been expecting from 3.5 to 3.8 gigahertz. We have a much wider range of availability of bandwidth. Coming to energy efficiency, it is a moderate in 5G and it is high in 5G, and it can improve a longer battery life. Longer battery life is for this is the major thing which we have included here, paging mechanism, that we will go in the next session. Okay, and coming to network reliability, the 4G is lag in the crowded areas, but in 5G we can see high reliability, and even in the crowds are with the more connections, as we have a device capacity is higher in 5G. And use cases in 4G, we would have been using only in mobile web streaming or application specific, but in 5G, we have a massive MIMO, and it can be connected to each and every devices like IoT, self-driving cars. However, 5G network works. This is the architecture of 5G, where UV is enable. Okay, this is our UV. UV is nothing but user equipment. Basically, it is a mobile. In 5G terminology, we will call it as a UV. And this is GNB. GNB is a next generated base station. Previously, this GNB is a ENB in 4G. Now it is been modified as a GNB, as a next generation base station. This is like a tower you can. And then we are coming to AMF. AMF is access and mobility function. Whenever your UV is trying to get connection, first it will try to connect with GNB. After that, it will reach to AMF, and what AMF does is AMF register this your UV, and handles the connection with other cores. Okay, and coming to session management, after AMF, session management function will control the and manages sessions between data paths. Data paths is might be as DU and CU, which we will see later, like control plane and user plane. And session management function is majorly responsible for IP allocation. IP allocation for UV, through which IP it wants to access the data and control the data, and it also gives the policy control function enforcement to UV. Coming to UPF, UPF is a user plane function where it forwards the actual your data packets to data network. like you can tell that is a direct connectivity to our data. Okay, and coming to in UPF, we will have a internal part called as PCF. Okay, here we have a PCF. PCF, which have a different policies responsible for each services. Like that depends on your SIM. Okay, and it controls the real-time data flow between UV and data network. And coming to authentication server function, you might be thinking whenever you have done your recharge and you will be getting a message like you have done with your recharge, right? That all functionalities and policies will be controlled by policy control plane and authentication server function. It actually authentication server function will verify user identity. And coming to UDM, that is Unified Data Function, where the subscription of your user has been stored in this data function, and it works like as a subscriber database. Okay, and coming to application function, actually application function is divided into two types. That is a network exposure function and network repository function. It's mainly used to control the external applications and services between two mission to mission, or might be mission to any application based on API calls. Okay, the same explanation that is there in these slides, like GNB is the next GNB ID, and all the other things except UV and GNB is called as a core network. All these things. Okay, like user equipment, we have seen these are the devices like IoT, smartphones, and we have seen GNB, that is a next generation base station, which handles RRC connections between the core and our UV. And things I have already explained in 5G core. We have access AMF, SMF, and each functionalities. Okay, and one more thing we have in 5G is service-based architecture. The keys, what is service-based architecture is, it is a way of designing a 5G architecture which make the network to use as a flexible and independent services that will talk to each other. Okay, in 4G, the things like AMF, PCF, all these things was been interacting. Interaction between them is very less, and because of that, the speed is low. By considering that to make it communication faster in 5G, what they have made is they made independent services that will talk to each other through APIs that will make a communication between them much faster. Okay, and here when we have spoken this control plane and user plane, right? Actually, where we will be communicate after connecting with core, it will get a control plane and user plane, where control plane will be mainly applicable for signaling, like calls. You can tell it as a calls, and user plane is nothing but a data forwarding, like your data subscription and data internet usage, or communication between one devices to another devices through internet. All this comes under user plane. Okay, and you can see with this service-based architecture in 5G, it increases flexibility, scalability, and modular updates. All these cores interacts with REST APIs. What are the flow of service-based architecture? This is what we have seen in architecture, where UV connects with AMF, and AMF tries to connect with the SUF, SUF, UDM, UPF, PCF, and then it will try to handle the registrations, and AMF will have a query with NRF. NRF, nothing but a network repository function. And then it will find the SMF, and via SMF using a REST API, it create a session, and SMF will assign that to UPF for a data flow, and UPF will connect to a our mobile to internet. Okay, here you can see the for UV. UV will connect with the RAN, that is our GNB, and then it will connect to AMF, and AMF will get AMF will be connected with NRF, and it will get the data of SMF, and it will communicate back to SMF, and SMF will communicate with PCF, AUF. And then it will after subscription and verification of the user, it will try to connect with NEF and UPF. Okay, of once the connectivity is done, and you can see the user plane is directly connected with data network. So we will not be we will not access all the things for procedure again, but it directly navigates to data network. So once you connect it to a network, and the usage of the network will be much more faster.